Okay, here's a tour of the HVAC system in the exercise room. There's three major components. Well, first there's the closet here, and inside the closet we have a light switch right over here that is on. And there's three major components. There is the geothermal system, there is the dehumidifier, and there is the ERV system, energy recovery ventilator. Those three components together work together to do our system. Let's start with the geothermal system. So our geothermal system is here. I've got the cover off at the bottom to show you a little bit there. And the geothermal system is controlled with this April Air zone controller. It's using two zones, zone 1 and 2. Zone 2 is a logical zone. Everything is just one room here. We've only got one set of ducts. There's no dampers. But zone 1 is what controls the basic temperature of the room, and that's set simply with right here, this temperature controller. You can see it's set for 65, which is what we're normally setting it at nowadays. And it's warmer than that, even though it's a cloudy day, because of the solar heating here. So so that we and then this is, we move the temperature with the plus and minus, and the manual for that, as well as all the manuals, are right here. So that's what sets the temperature. You can see that when this is on. See, it says on right there. And this is the disconnect. If for some reason we wanted to work on it and remove the power, it's also the hanger for the goggles. You can open this up and pull. There's a handle in there. You pull that out, and that will remove the power from this guy here. We have two geothermal systems in our house. This is the second one, the smaller, and we've got them set on priorities. So the other one is the high priority, this is the low priority. So this one will never turn on when any of the other zones in the house are running. That gets priority. And the way we set the priority is we run a wire up here, and that wire is right here, and it comes from down in the basement through this dark brown little wire here, bottom one here, and it comes down into here, and you can see it is controlling this relay. That relay is getting power from here, and then it also controls, is sent back to the controller here through one of the wires, and it does not allow the system to come on whenever our big geothermal downstairs is on, and the other end of that wire is whenever the way that is done is through, there's a tacho valve. Whenever that geothermal system is on, any of the zones produces a call and says, hey, turn on. It opens a valve for water to flow. And so when it opens the valve, we use that control signal right off the valve to drive that relay. So that's what that relay is, and I've got it labeled down here, priority override relay. So that's what determines the priority, so that this doesn't run when the other runs at the same time. Water comes in and out through here and here, and goes to our well. And then this loop here, this red one, is a heat recovery loop, which is really only going to work. There's a coil in here, and we get the excess heat off of that. We use that little pump down there on the bottom. I should have a pointer. Use this as a pointer. This little pump down here, I'm pointing with the thermometer, pumps water back through an extra coil. And when we're in air conditioning mode, which we'll probably never ever be, we always want this room to be warm. But if we ever did have air conditioning, the excess heat would come out of here and then heat the pool water. but we'll probably never do that. And that, by the way, is controlled with this switch here. It's off now, but we can turn that on, and that enables that to work. When we are doing air conditioning, then we'll have condensation off the coil, and the condensation comes through here and goes down through there, and that also goes back into the pool. That's pure distilled water, and all of the moisture in this room comes from the pool, so we send the moisture back to the pool. But again, it turns out we're not really ever air conditioning, so we probably never really use that. So that's a little bit about our geothermal system. Now, I said there was 2 zones. The second zone is actually a little bit complex, and that's controlled with this box here. So this here is a little controller. Right now you can see it says 70 degrees on there. And what that is measuring is it's measuring, I'm going to come over here now, on this window we have a sensor in the corner right here, and that sensor measures the temperature of this glass. When that glass gets below the dew point, we want to turn on the fan. And the dew point, by the way, I've got a little table here. We're typically keeping this room at 60% relative humidity.